Hey guys, this is Brian Castro from Better Chess Training, and today I'm going to show you how to enhance your study of chess videos on YouTube and other places. I'm going to show you three techniques, and this is going to help you engage with your chess videos a little more and help you to understand the material and remember the material even better than you do now. So the first technique we're going to do is what I call, well, it's replaying it from your memory. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look up a video on YouTube, and we're going to just look up one of my favorite commentators is Yasser Seirawan. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you can see here on this video on my screen here that he has a ton of videos here with the Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis. And there's a lot of good videos on that site as well. And what I'm going to do here, because I like Capablanca and Emmanuel Lasker, is I am going to click on this video. And I'm just going to pause it here for a moment so it doesn't start playing. But here's the idea. You're going to watch the video, and you're going to, you can take notes if you want to, say in a notebook, or just watch the video. And then after the video, so pretend we watched the video, you are going to look up the game in question. And so here you see I'm going to go to Google. If you don't have a chess database, or even if you do have a chess database, so one of the quickest ways that I look things up is to just go to Google here, and I will say Lasker versus Capablanca, 19, and I believe, let's go back here, World Championship 1921, and I think this is game 5 here, which I would know if I watched the whole video, of course. So here we have chessgames.com, which has a lot of great games. I also like Chess Tempo, but typically the chessgames.com will come up. So we will go to the game here, and I'm going to go to game 5. Now there's a couple things you can do here. I like to use a program called Skid. It has a feature to replay the game, and maybe I'll make another video about that. But even on here, you can look at what happened. Now in this case, Capablanca won this game. So what you're going to want to do here, and let me move this so that the screen is in general here, is you are going to play through the game for maybe the first 10 or so moves, unless you're working on a specific opening. And then once you get to move, let's say move 10 in this example, what you're going to try to do, and I watched this video, but I actually don't remember the moves here. You're going to go with White's, what you think White's next move is going to be, and you're going to do this from your memory. Now, I would do this right after you watch the video, and it should be fairly easy to do that if you understand the concepts. What's going to happen is sometimes, let's look at this example. And actually, I wonder if I remember this. I think that White plays Queen to C6. And again, the key is not to look at the notation here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the next move here, and I see that it is Queen to C6. And I know this because I remember this game, and I remember the weakness in the light squares. So the point here is that it helps you to test whether or not you actually understand the concepts behind the game. And this is probably something that in this particular video, Yasser Seirawan explained, and this will help you to remember it. Now, if you got things wrong, well, you can do a couple things. Well, maybe it's something you just forgot and then you remembered after you saw what the move was, and that's good. It will help to reinforce your memory and your understanding. If you still don't get it, you can go back to the video and try to see if the commentator explains the move. And that is the first technique, which is to watch the video and then try to memorize the game or remember the moves that the winner made. I wouldn't focus on memorizing the whole game. I mainly focus on the ideas behind what the winner of the game did, because typically, obviously, the black, it's a little easier to remember that way. Also, it's good to focus on the winning moves, not necessarily memorizing the losing moves. Although I think there's some value to memorizing whole master games, which we could talk about at some other point. Okay, so that's the first technique. Let's go on to the second one. Okay, guys, the second technique that we are going to do here is called what we're going to do is we're going to pre-annotate the game. So what you're going to do, using that Lasker and Capablanca video that was commented on by Yasser Sirowan, what we're going to do is before you watch the video, you're going to download the game. Like I did before, look it up on Google, or if you're on Chess Tempo or Chess Games, whatever database you want to use, download the game. And in this case, the game from Chess Games actually had a bunch of annotations. So what you're going to do, and I'll show you here, is you are going to strip all of the comments so that you get the bare game score. And then what you're going to do, and again, unless it is an opening that you understand or that you play, I kind of skip past some of the opening moves, but around say move 10 or move 12, you can start to make your comments. Okay, and so for example here, I'm gonna just make a comment, and I'm gonna say attacking the light squares on the queen side and the rook on a8. And you're going to go through each of the moves. Well, if it's a simple recapture or something to that effect, you can maybe skip it. But all of the places, the important points, you want to try to annotate it as if you are teaching a lesson yourself. So you want to try to explain the strategy behind it. If there's any relevant tactics, you want to explain those. And if there's any variations that you analyze. Okay, so use it as a task to try to test your understanding of the game. And then after you're done and you think it's pretty good, obviously you could set a timer for yourself if you don't want to make this too cumbersome. And then you're going to go back to the video and then play the video and compare his notes with your notes. And actually this is something, these techniques are something that Benjamin Franklin used to use to help him to improve various skills that he might have, such as his writing. He would take a famous writer who was well known to be very skilled at his craft, and then he would take notes about the topic, and then he would write something, maybe several months later after he's forgotten the essay or whatever the thing that the writer wrote. He would take the notes and then he would construct his own writing. And then he would write his own essay on the topic, and then he would go back and compare his writing with the expert. So that's what you're doing in this case. You are comparing your own thoughts about your understanding of strategy and tactics, and you're comparing it to the master who is the commenter on the video. And in this case, a couple important points to note here is sometimes you might comment on something that you think is important, and say, in this case, Grandmaster Sirowan might not comment on it at all. So maybe it's not as critical of a position, or you might ignore a move and then he comments on it. Now, some of this is stylistic and preferential, also depending on how detailed the commenter goes on the moves. But it also masters are very good at understanding when the critical points are. So if he points out a particular strategy that you ignore or didn't understand, that's a good one to focus on. So this is the second technique, and that is to pre-annotate the game before you watch the video. Okay, the third technique to enhance your training and your study of online videos with chess is to do solitary chess. And the idea here, or the technique, is you're going to look up the video of the game or whatnot, and then you're going to check out the game just as I mentioned earlier, and then you're going to go, you can do it from the screen, but here I'm using Skid again. It has a nice feature called the review game feature, which is basically what I'm talking about. And what you do is you set it up here, and I'll show it to you here. We'll do a couple moves. And in this case, you can set up the parameters, how long you want the engine, and you're going to compare your moves to that of the chess engine. So let's look at this as an example. I set up this position here, again from that Capablanca Lasker game from the World Championship. And what you do here is you set it up for the winner to play. And we know that white won this game, and it's white's move here And so I'm going to look at what to do. And this is a position I actually remember. Like I said, I've studied this game before, and I know that white plays queen to a3. So I'm going to play that there. And what you're going to see is that it is correct. So black's move will be made, and you can keep track of your progress here in terms of how you do. You don't need to use a program like this, although it makes it a little more fun and a little more challenging. And then you can play whatever your next move is. And again, in this case, I don't exactly remember what the move is, and so maybe if I get it wrong, I'll show you what happens there. I'm wondering. I think that maybe a couple things. I think that we're attacking the c5 pawn, but maybe we want to exchange first to see if he moves this knight to give us a little more pressure here, because maybe he'll take back here. So I'm going to go ahead and move here. And in this case, I did get it correct again. And so we let the program's going to do. So what happens here too is that the program has its own, it evaluates the moves as well. So it goes by it compares it to the game move, but also by the engine move. So for example, maybe the winner didn't play the optimum move, but the computer finds a better move. So it will do that. So let's see what happens here. I think now we take here on c5. And what we can see here is that I got the move wrong. So it's going to show me what happened. And here it says it's not a good move. The game score is 1.79. And the move that I made, or actually the move that I made is worse, and the game move was slightly worse as well. I guess there was a good move there. So what you want to do is go through the game, and then before you, after you're done going through the game, you can now compare it to the video. You do the game, and then you watch the video, and then you see where you went wrong, and then it will help you to improve your knowledge. So well, we'll summarize this next, but that technique is Solitaire Chess. I actually wrote an article about this on the Chess Improver website, and so I'll put a link to that in the description. But that is the third way to enhance your training with online videos. Okay, so I gave you 3 techniques to help to enhance your study of chess videos. The first one is to replay it from memory after you've watched the video. The second one is to pre-annotate the game. So you're going to look up the game, and then you're going to annotate it with your thoughts about the strategy and tactics and plans within the game, and then you're going to watch the video and compare your analysis. And the third one, you're going to play solitary chess. So you're going to put yourself in the position of the winner of the game, and you're going to play through each move. And then after you've made some mistakes and gotten some moves right, you're going to compare it to the video. It's going to explain the ideas behind it. These techniques will really help you to understand the moves better. It will also help you to remember the knowledge that you're doing. It's actively engaging with the videos instead of just passively watching. And this will help you remember it and also help you apply it in your own games. So I hope you found that helpful, and leave a comment as to what you thought about these, and also if you're going to try any, let me know what you think. It does take a little bit longer, it does take a little more effort, but like everything that is worthwhile and rewarding, it takes time and effort. So try those out and let me know what you think. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please press the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already to get future updates. I typically try to upload videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And also check out the description to any of the articles that I referenced in the video. Have a great day and good luck with your chess.